Hi, so it looks like I am live. So I hope that some of you are joining me or listening to the recording. This is our weekly Q&A. And today I want to talk about cleansing. And I'm really not that prepared for today. I don't have any questions, but if someone pops in, then I will definitely answer your questions for today. People are asking about cleansing, getting ready for January, which is great. And we're coming up, the Gen Twins, we're coming up with something for those of you who are going to be missing the 5-day reset, because I know a lot of you do look forward to that. And I think that it's a really great thing to do. I'm having trouble with my computer here. So I think it is important to cleanse, of course, doing the deep cleanse in the spring and the fall for everyone. But the seasonal resets are a great way to reset your body, especially after the holiday season. So something that we've been talking a lot about is flu season, and really it's the sugar season, right? I'm sure some of you have seen the memes and seen people talking about that. We don't sleep. A lot of people drink alcohol. They eat what they call our treats, which may be a treat to your tongue, but not treats to your body. And then all of a sudden, flu season hits. Coincidence? I don't think so. But a lot of people want to do a reset. So if you do that over Christmas, maybe you always have these traditions that you follow, foods that you always eat, activities that you always do, and you know you're not going to be sleeping, you're not going to be eating well. And so doing something like that is a great idea to get your body back on track. Now, if you are someone who is already suffering from something, you have a diagnosis of something or suspect a diagnosis, or your blood sugar is out of control or one of those things, then you want to go ahead and on a reset as you go into the holidays. People say, don't you want to cheat over Christmas? Well, cheating for me, I don't know what that means. Because I'm the rigid type, for those of you who study that. Once I decide I'm going gluten-free, that's me. And so sometimes I'm like, wait, what do you mean you can't go gluten-free? Especially people who are already very inflamed, or they have some sort of illness or disease and they know they can't do gluten, but they eat it anyway. For me, I was like, it blows my mind. What, don't you feel better when you don't eat it and stuff like that. But I know we're all different. We're all on our own health journey. We all have our own experiences. So for me, I'm going to be traveling over the holidays. I will not be eating those foods just because it can set me back 6 months. As someone who has had autoimmune disease, has had radiation, has suffered a lot, I am not willing to do the gluten because I know how bad I'm going to feel, and I know it could set me back 6 months. But for those of you who don't, then cleansing is something that you need to do, right? And what kind of cleanse should you do in January? Well, the reason why I had the seasonal resets is there's certain foods that we should be eating during certain times of the year. There's a reason why we don't have these spring vegetables or the warm summer hot vegetables like tomatoes and cucumbers in January. We need warming foods. And now, if you're living in a tropical area where you can get, tropical fruits and things like that year round, then that's probably the right thing for your body. If you're hot in January, living somewhere that is hot and humid, then you eat those foods that are cooling, moisturizing, hydrating to your body. If you're living somewhere that is very cold and very dry, you need hydrating foods and warming foods. And so that's why soups and stews are really good. And yes, you can do a cleanse with soups and stews. Not meaty stews. Meat can be very inflammatory. And so we don't want to use meats. We want to use other foods that are rich in vitamins and minerals and nourishing to our body and help with our liver and with detoxification and cooling inflammation and things like that. And so we want to look for the right foods. Now, that being said, I know the TriBest Juice Cleanse is coming up. It's in January. I love that juice cleanse. You can just Google. I'm not an affiliate. TriBest Juice Cleanse. They have really great recipes. And so I do like to do that in January, but I do know it's really cold. Drinking juices in January, doing a juice cleanse in January is not always the best thing for our bodies because it can be cold. And so hopefully when they do the juice cleanse, it will be during a warm front as far as weather goes, or I may just save that juice cleanse to do later on. But I do like their recipes and things. I do strongly encourage you to do a liver cleanse in the spring and in the fall, just because we do live in a day and age where we are exposed to tons and tons of chemicals. I just recorded my podcast on this today, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. But if you just think about I'm going to talk about the standard American, not exactly myself, but you wake up in the morning, we sleep in bedding that has flame retardants on it, so your bed doesn't catch on fire. We're breathing in those chemicals are being absorbed into our skin. We are waking up by alarm clocks, sound, really loud alarms that wake us up before our body's ready, before dawn. The TriVest email just popped up on my computer that's listening in. But we're waking up with the way we're not supposed to. We go in and brush our teeth, and we're using toothpaste that has fluoride and all sorts of chemicals. Have you ever read the ingredients on the toothpaste? I remember, must have been back in 2012, someone pointed out to me that the toothpaste says, it has all sorts of warnings on it. Do not swallow, do not use so many, more than a little bit, don't allow children to use it. There is a reason why those warning labels are on the toothpaste. And so we need to look at that. So, okay, so we woke up, we're exposed to the flame retardants and those chemicals. We wake up artificially. We brush our teeth with these chemicals. We wash our face with more chemicals. We wash our hands with more chemicals, and then we go and eat breakfast. Well, we may be drinking water that's not necessarily clean. If we're drinking city water, we're exposed to the chlorine and fluoride and whatever chemicals are legally allowed to be in there up to a certain amount, right? Those chemicals, we're breathing dirty air. We're in homes that are really well insulated and closed up, where our inside air sometimes is even dirtier than the outside air, which is still chemical laden. So you get my point. We just woke up and we're already exposed to all these chemicals. And so way back when, when men and women, people, humans, were on the earth, naked and afraid, right? They didn't even know to be afraid. Maybe they did. They're eating these raw vegetables. What are they gathering? So what would be around your area right now? If we didn't have all these chemicals and you're out wandering out in the wild, right now it would be hard to find some foods, but there is some tender green vegetation on the ground. We have lettuces and things out right now. Even though we've had frost, we have some of those hardier greens. And I don't eat animal products, but if I were hunting, maybe squirrel, I don't know, that's disgusting, but there's really not a lot of animals scurrying around, and there's lots of green tender vegetation, so you see, and lots of nuts. So the walnuts all fell, the pecans all fell, and so that's what I would be eating, and I'd be breathing in clean air. My body I'd be moving around a lot, right? Gathering up these things, hunting and gathering my foods, breathing fresh air, getting plenty of exercise. And so you get my point, not exposed to many chemicals, right? I'm not using the chemical toothpaste and washing my hair. I'm being exposed to different things outside. Maybe it's not the cleanest environment, but my body doesn't have to handle all these toxins. In this day and age, we're dealing with all these toxins throughout the day. I not only talked about the very beginning of the day. And so I do believe that we all need to cleanse at least twice a year. I do one in the spring and in the fall, just to help my body, to reset, to help my liver. Make sure my liver is being provided all the nutrients that are needed and all the different pathways to help cleanse and revive itself, regenerate. We all have heard you can donate part of your liver, right? And it'll regenerate. It's true. So we need to give ourselves herbs and nutrients so we can detox anything that's been stored in there and rebuild the liver and nourish the liver and nourish our entire body. And so that's why I do like cleansing. When I do focus on cleansing, I focus on lots and lots of minerals and other nutrients that the liver needs. Lots of cruciferous vegetables. Those are your broccolis and arugulas and dark green leafy vegetables, right? Including cauliflower and radishes and turnips, which they are not leafy greens. But if we eat all of those things, they provide a lot of the things that the liver needs to detoxify. Onions and garlic, lemon juice, those are all very nourishing to the body. And then adding in herbs like milk thistle and stuff like that. Anyway, that is really all I have for this week. Because I didn't have any questions, let me just double check and see if anything popped up. I don't see any questions in our group, so I hope that all of you have a wonderful week. And if you do have any questions, please comment. I love to hear from you. Have a fabulous week.